What is up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today we are getting started with new details that have leaked for UFC White House. The UFC White House event is expected to be the biggest event the company has ever put on, and all of the top stars want to be on the card. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. It was leaked by John Onik on the Jackson podcast that the card could feature 6 or 7 title fights and that the UFC plans to hold fighters specifically for this event. He also said that Tom Aspinall, Alex Pereira and Khamzat Chimaev are expected to be on the White House card. If the UFC does hold Alex Pereira, that could mean he finally gets his wish to fight Jon Jones. You will be calling. It would be insane if the UFC could stack the White House event with 7 title fights. Every single fight on the card would be for a belt, and that makes perfect sense for an event of this magnitude. What are your thoughts on a stacked White House card? Who do you want to see fight at the event? Let us know in the comments below. Joe Rogan ranks Islam Makhachev higher than Khabib Nurmagomedov. Khabib is widely considered one of the greatest fighters of all time, and many fans argue that he is the GOAT. However, Joe Rogan recently explained why he believes Islam Makhachev is operating on an even higher level than his longtime friend and teammate. If you followed Khabib's career, you know that for years he predicted Islam would one day sit at the top of the UFC lightweight division after his retirement. That prediction came true and then some. Islam has defended the lightweight title 4 times, which is one more than Khabib, and he has also moved up in weight to capture the welterweight championship. More recently, Joe Rogan discussed the differences between Khabib and Islam on his podcast and shared why he believes Islam has surpassed him. This is what he had to say.
It's crazy. Khabib's repertoire. Islam is on another level. It's like one more level above. He can knock you out standing. He can knock you out on the ground. He can submit you. He can take you down. He's huge for the weight class, especially 155. It's like there's so many aspects, and you're always thinking about that grappling when you're striking. So when you say like, oh, you know, who's better striker, Islam or Jack Della Maddalena? Well, it depends, because if you got to worry about that takedown, your striking is not going to be the same. It's just not going to be the same, because everything he does, you're always looking for that takedown, and that factor, it leads to guys getting hit.
First person to really say this. Some people point to Islam Makhachev's striking as the reason they believe he is a better overall fighter than Khabib Nurmagomedov. Others argue that Khabib was more dominant during his career and point out that he barely lost a round on his way to retiring undefeated at 29-0. If Makhachev goes on to defend the welterweight title multiple times, though, it feels like this debate could be put to rest for good. During the same episode, which featured decorated wrestler turned top MMA prospect Gable Steveson, the discussion shifted to Jon Jones and his legacy. While talking about Jones' accomplishments, Joe Rogan said that at this point it does not even matter whether Jon Jones holds a belt or not. According to Rogan, the title means nothing when it comes to Jon Jones. Everyone knows who he is and what he brings to the table, and people will always pay to watch him fight. In Rogan's view, the belt is secondary because the fighter himself is the draw. What do you think about Rogan's take here? Shera Magomedov talks about his next UFC fight. Shera Magomedov was unable to secure a win in his recent grappling match against Arman Tsarukyan, but he is confident that things will be very different when he returns to the octagon. The Dagestani fighter competed against Tsarukyan at a recent Hype FC event in Armenia, and the match ended in a draw. This was Magomedov's first competition since July, when he picked up a decision win over Marc-Andre Barriault at a UFC event in Abu Dhabi. That victory put him back in the win column after suffering a decision loss to Michael Page in February. Speaking with Red Corner MMA recently, the middleweight laid out his plans going forward. He said his goal is to return next year, beat someone up outside the top 15, then defeat a top 15 opponent, and after that secure a rematch with Michael Page. According to Magomedov, that rematch is a must because he wants to prove to fans that the first fight did not show his true abilities. He explained that health issues held him back and that the performance was out of his control. Since Sharabullet is no longer ranked in the top 15, it would not be surprising if the UFC matches him up with another unranked opponent next. That said, he is currently 5-1 in the UFC, and the loss to Michael Page is the only defeat of his professional MMA career. Because of that, it is also possible the UFC looks to test him against another established ranked fighter. As for timing, Magomedov said he hopes to fight 3 or 4 events into the new Paramount deal, which would likely put his return sometime in the spring. Who do you want to see Sharabullet fight next? Daniel Cormier says he would dominate in the UFC right now. Daniel Cormier is not planning a comeback as he turns 47 in March, but he recently shared his thoughts on the current state of the light heavyweight division. DC believes there is a major lack of elite wrestling at 205 pounds today. Cormier is considered one of the greatest fighters of all time, having won both the light heavyweight and heavyweight titles during his career and even holding both belts simultaneously at one point. During a recent Q&A for All In Films, Cormier was asked how today's champions and contenders compare to the fighters from his era. He responded by saying that if he were in his prime and competing at light heavyweight right now, he would be feasting on the division because there are no high-level wrestlers. He added that he would likely fight Alex Pereira because he is the biggest star and that is how a champion makes the most money. Cormier went on to explain that when he was competing, the top of the division was filled with elite wrestlers including John Jones, Ryan Bader, Phil Davis, and Rashad Evans. According to DC, that level of wrestling simply is not present in the division today. Do you think Cormier has a point, or are today's contenders just better at defending takedowns? UFC updates. The year 2026 is officially here and the UFC new broadcast deal with Paramount is now underway. While the first event under the deal will not take place until January 24th, reports indicate that subscribers can already access nearly every fight in UFC history through the streaming service. With pay-per-views no longer expected in the United States, it is believed that fights from each event moving forward will be added to the catalog much faster than before. After Henry Cejudo announced his latest retirement from MMA, he did not take long to find a new opportunity. Real American Freestyle recently announced that Cejudo will wrestle Uriah Faber at their February 28th event in Tempe, Arizona. Cejudo announced his second MMA retirement last month following a decision loss to Peyton Talbot at UFC 323. The 38-year-old went 0-4 during his second UFC run after initially retiring in 2020. Faber, who is now 46, has stayed active in grappling competitions since his last MMA fight in 2019. In his most recent outing in August 2024, he earned a decision win over Bibiano Fernandez in a grappling match. Also announced for the upcoming RAF card, former UFC fighter Muhammad Mokaev will wrestle Bryce Meredith. Mokaev has stayed active since his UFC exit in 2024, compiling a 4-0 record. His most recent fight saw him score a head kick knockout of Gerard Burns at a Cage Fury event in November. Mokaev also competed in a grappling match against Horiguchi Bontarin in October 2024 where he lost a decision. For fans who primarily follow the UFC, Bryce Meredith may not be a familiar name. Meredith is a former NCAA Division I All-American wrestler who is coming off the first loss of his professional MMA career. He was stopped at a PFL event in August, which dropped his record to 7-1. Finally, Alex Pereira has released new sparring footage showing off his kicks, and it is definitely something you need to see. Luke Rockhold roasts Tyron Woodley for his performance. Tyron Woodley may have taken his recent boxing match against Anderson Silva on short notice, but it sounds like Luke Rockhold does not want to see the former UFC champion competing anymore. Woodley faced Silva on the main card of the recent Jake Paul-Anthony Joshua event and was stopped by the legendary Brazilian in the second round. Woodley stepped in on short notice after Silva's original opponent Chris Weidman was forced to withdraw. This loss marked Woodley's third straight defeat in boxing and his seventh straight loss overall if you include MMA. Since then, Rockhold appeared as a guest on Submission Radio where he shared his thoughts on Woodley's performance. Rockhold said that the fight went exactly how he expected and suggested that Woodley is no longer mentally present as a fighter. He added that while Tyron is still his friend, he feels like Woodley is sleep fighting and no longer reacting or engaging the way a fighter needs to. Rockhold explained that fighting requires awareness, timing, and reaction, and in his opinion Woodley just is not there anymore. What did you think of Woodley's performance, and do you believe he should still be competing? Now let's get started with a major update on the Ilia Topuria situation. A couple of weeks ago, Ilia Topuria revealed that serious allegations were going to be made against him in court, allegations that he strongly denied, and now we know when this will take place. After announcing a few months ago that his UFC return would be delayed due to personal reasons, Topuria confirmed in December that the delay was due to an ongoing divorce with Georgina Oskadagwai. He also revealed that he had received threats claiming false allegations would be made against him unless financial demands were met. It is now being reported that Topuria is scheduled to appear in court next week in relation to these allegations. Recently, Home of Fight shared a summary of a report published by El Mundo outlining key details of the situation. According to the report, Topuria has been summoned to appear before Spain Court of Violence Against Women next Wednesday, January 7th. The court will not be determining guilt or the truth of the accusations at this stage, as the hearing is strictly related to matters involving their daughter. Oskadagwai has reportedly requested court approval to leave the country with their child, and she is currently living alone with the daughter. It was also revealed that Georgina has accused Topuria of causing injuries within the family. In the El Mundo report, which was written in Spanish, Topuria defense team stated that Ilia himself filed for divorce months ago and that the situation stems from that decision. His team claims the lawsuit is baseless and that he has multiple pieces of evidence supporting his statements. If you thought the situation could not get any more complicated, it appears that assumption was wrong. Earlier today, Ilia Topuria released a statement responding to what he described as fake news from the media. Topuria addressed the situation on X and expressed disappointment over misleading headlines and unverified information being spread. He said that while he has always appreciated the respectful treatment he has received from most of the media, he is now being discussed for issues unrelated to sports. He acknowledged that being a public figure comes with exposure, but said that does not justify false headlines, distorted facts, or the involvement of a minor in media coverage. Topuria clarified that he has not been summoned to testify in a criminal case and that the court appearance is strictly related to an administrative family matter concerning his daughter travel outside of Spain. He stated that he has been unable to see his daughter for 4 months despite repeated attempts. He also explained that the divorce petition was filed by him after weeks of negotiations, and that after he refused unreasonable financial demands, an abuse complaint was filed weeks later, something he says he had been threatened with beforehand. Topuria said he trusts in justice and believes the truth will prevail and that he will soon be reunited with his children. He asked the media to stick to the facts and treat the situation with responsibility and respect. It is clear that the situation surrounding Ilia Topuria is becoming increasingly messy. As for his fighting future, Topuria has said he hopes to return to the cage by mid-year, but that timeline could be pushed back depending on how everything unfolds. That said, he is not staying out of the gym. Recently, footage surfaced of Topuria putting in bag work on New Year Day, showing that he remains focused on training. That will wrap up today's video. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. We will see you all tomorrow.